You get the picture. This I should have done before. Well, being out biking for 3 weeks didn't help. I'm not longing for home, for the fjords. Maybe for the fjords actually, but not for home. This is pretty nice. I need to show you. This is what I'm looking at right now. A lake, very quiet lake. I'll get to the name later. It's a piece of Sörmlandsleden. So this campsite is actually used by many hikers during the years on Sörmlandsleden. But it doesn't seem to be a very popular part because I haven't seen anyone since I arrived here at actually 10 at night yesterday. That was pretty difficult because in the woods it's quite dark, and it was difficult setting up the tent in the dark as well, although it was a bit lighter when I arrived here at the campsite. But well, you see behind the bike there I had the tent. So this day I've been wondering about going back to work next week and what I'm gonna do at home until then. Seems that 7 weeks of vacation just aren't enough sometimes. Last year I had 4, was it 5? And it felt right. But this year, another 7 maybe? Is it too much to ask really? Maybe I need to go into consulting more and not work 5-day week. Although as a consultant I tend to work more, but I can work in the weekends, stay off when it's nice weather, etc. So it's easier. The forecast today said it would be 20 degrees or something, but here with no wind it's more like 25. And I have a 93-kilometer ride to home, which I'll do with a lunch break. But first is this 1 kilometer of pushing uphill. I don't know if you can see, but it's uphill and it gets steeper and steeper. And well, although the bike hasn't got any extra water now, but it's quite heavy to pull up there. Biking is just not possible. There's too many big rocks in the way where the bags also catch, and I need to lift it around a bit. But the tree tent has delivered, although sometimes I had to put it up several times and readjust and fiddle with it for an hour before I got it right. I seem to have gotten better at it lately. Last week hasn't been very much of a problem, although it needs refidgeting a couple of times. I'm not sure I would use a tree tent if I would go for a world tour, or actually I'm sure I wouldn't, because the comfort sleeping in it is not worth the hassle if you arrive late at a place. I haven't tried it on the ground yet. Maybe I should do that before I say anything. But it's quite heavy and has extra webbing, what's it called, bands, tube bands. No, it's not tube bands. I don't know what they're called. Spanning straps, whatever. So more on that another time. The tent has also been quite cold at night, because in combination with the sleeping mattress I have, which has a hexagonal pattern, where the hexagonals haven't got any insulation at all, so you're sleeping on small cushions. It has been cold under 10 degrees, say. although I slept a night in -2 degrees in the little tree tent that I bought, and that was pretty cold. So they're not made for Scandinavian climate, although with a nice summer or more of a warmer temperature, those would be nice as well. With the bike, I have a crank noise. Might be just the carbon frame, and it might be something coming loose. Apart from that, the bike is super. I have an Ibis Häkka, and it seems to just work for everything. I've done crazy mountain bike stunts with it, and riding pretty hard on the roads as well, and it just does what it does, and does it really well. It's not like many bikes you buy and they're not actually really good at anything, but they're pretty okay at very much. This bike is really good at everything. I haven't had an opportunity to test a bike like this before, and I like it. Maybe it's the lightness, the stiffness, the combination of springiness, fork angle, I don't know, but it's really good. The bike cart, the Extrawheel, Polish construction, is pricey, and with my bike a little wobbly, because as I said, the bike is springy, stiff but flexy to eat up, absorb vibrations. So in combination with the heavy cart, it kind of wobbles, or at least it tries to. If you counter steer it, it can go into a little wobble, but if you don't do anything, it doesn't. So the first night I used it, I was devastated. I thought, I can't ride this. Tomorrow I'll send it back. But I got to know it a little better and not parry all the small wobbles that I get. So now I'm just not riding very straight if the ground is not straight. I don't know how to explain it. The rear wheel is kind of tracking, so it's steering the bike. It's probably because the bike is too lightly packed and the cart too heavy. So I'm tail heavy, and that's probably why it wobbles. But it was the best combination. I even mailed Chuck Ibis about putting a pannier rack on the bike, and he said no, absolutely not, because the bike, the frame and the fork is 1 kilo, and that's pretty awesome light, and so it's not designed to take any load on the seat stays or chain stays or whatever. Well, that's all for now. I seem to have been recording for almost 10 minutes now. Yeah, back to the internets. One last one. Oh yeah, the weather forecast has said for a week now that tomorrow it's gonna rain, and it's gonna keep raining for 5 days. But tomorrow actually never came. They've said that for a week, and now they say the rain for today is scheduled at 7 o'clock at night. So that's why I'm riding home. I finally believe them. And I'm out of water and supplies.